So, before I start this video, I would just like to say justice for Breonna Taylor. And I'm not finna say it again, bitch. Because those cops need to be arrested. I know some of y'all like, well, what would you finna do, your pregnant ass? And you're right. But I will sign a petition 50,000 million times to make sure that my voice is heard. And I hope that you sign the petition. And it will be linked in the description box below. Because Breonna Taylor deserves justice. That indeed she does deserve. The way they handled her case. Well, not even just that whole situation is terrible. And I am in utter disbelief that those cops have not been arrested. So yes, justice for Breonna Taylor. Go sign a petition. Now back to scheduled programming. We're back with another episode. We're back with another episode of Red Side Season 3. Yes, we are back. And yeah, now that I got that off my chest, because that took a lot, believe it or not. Definitely subscribe. Hit the post notification bell. And yeah, you know, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. I don't know if you're still at your stay-at-home orders. I don't know how it's going, but I hope you guys are coping and getting through all of this and all the craziness going on in America. I hope that you are pushing through despite it all, because we are all trying out here. And yeah, so today we're talking about compromise. One of the is it something hard to do? I think, is compromise hard? We'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. Why did I pick compromise? You know, ever since, you know, this little thing got on my hand, I had to learn compromise. Definitely. But I do see the in and outs and the downfalls of it, and you know, I want to talk about it. And I think not only do you see compromise in relationships, but all aspects, work, and some people may believe, you know, those are some places where you shouldn't have compromise. And we'll get into all of that. But, you know, before every topic, what do we like to do? We like to expand our minds. Expand your mind, expand your mind, expand your mind. An article on Psychology Today titled "To Compromise or Not to Compromise: How to Build Sustainable Relationships," written by David Bedrick, JD. Many popular psychologists such as Dr. Phil preach that compromise is the key to resolving relationship conflict and essential to building sustainable relationships. They view compromise as a win-win solution where both people get some of what they want. However, counselors who hold this perspective tend to act more like arbiters than counselors, pressing people to compromise regardless of the psychological issues that fuels people's conflicts in the first place. When people are unwilling to compromise or don't carry out the agreement reached, counselors are apt to treat the parties to the conflict as resistant or unreasonable, instead of treating the approach as inadequate. For example, let's say you and I are opening to meet for a cup of coffee at around noon. You say you'd rather meet at 11:30 a.m. I respond saying that 11:30 a.m. is a bit early for me, given my schedule, and I prefer noon. If you and I have no strong feelings or reasons not to compromise, we may decide on 11:45 a.m. Win-win, no problem. So, let's get into compromise. Compromise is hard. In some ways, is it really though? Like, is it really that hard? Like, is it, like, you see that example where they was like, we decide to go get coffee. You want to meet at noon at 12 because you like to wake up late. I want to meet at 11:30 because I like to be early. Then we hit a middle ground, which is just a 15-minute grace period. And boom, now we've compromised. But some people You know where I think compromise gets tricky? Because like they said, like he said in the top of the argument, the top of the article was that we're not getting to the root of the problem as to why we need to compromise. Because sometimes in certain situations, like for example, with that situation, the person, let's say person A is the person who wants to meet at 11:30, and person B is the person who wants to meet at noon. Person B asks to bring you out for coffee, and they want to meet at noon. And sometimes, not all the times, person A might be being petty, and they just want to meet at 11:30. And then person B might be like, well, I don't want to meet at 11:30. All right, let's meet at 11:45. Sometimes they're not trying to compromise. They're both being petty. Y'all get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm talking about? And this is why sometimes compromise is tricky. You don't really know if somebody's trying to compromise or if they're being childish. And that's sometimes why you need to get to the root of the issue. And is it rude if somebody asks you to go out for coffee and you say 12 and the person's like, oh, I can't do it at 11:30? I feel like if you come up with a good reason as to why you want to do it earlier, then I understand. And then they talked about how, too, in this article, some people do compromise and then they still end up showing up late. And, I mean, what can you do? People are tricky. People are very, very tricky. Me and my water. So I think that's one of the top reasons why sometimes compromise doesn't work. For me, I think compromise is key, but when you do it in such a discretionary way. And how do I explain that? Like, when you do it, because compromise is win-win. Because I'm going to say, when you do it in a way where you still get your way. So for me, I feel like if I'm still going to get what I want at the end of the day, whether it's done the way I want it, then who the fuck cares? That's how I view it. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody's like that. And I think not everybody's like that because it's low-key, high-key. I feel like if you're the type of person that's like, if we come up with a compromise and you're mad that I still kind of am happy with what we agreed to, you know how those people like, y'all reached a compromise, but that person is still mad that you still got some of your way and they still mad? Like, does that make sense? Like, because I got a little bit of my way, you wanted it your way completely. And that's where things get tricky. And that's what he talks about in this article, is about how like therapists like to just do compromise, vice versa, getting to the root of the issue or whatever the case may be. But either way, I am a win-win person. I agree with compromise, and there's ways to do compromise. And I shouldn't say this, but to do compromise with, in all actuality, you got your way. And that's kind of, you know, some people could say as being manipulative or whatever the case may be. You got to know your partner, or you got to know people to understand, like, how they maneuver. And some people, and when I say this, some people might be like, well, then that's not a person you should be around or should be with or whatever the case may be. But sometimes you got to say the opposite of what you really want just so you can get what you really want. I feel so bad saying that. Sometimes there's ways to get exactly what you want, but just by doing it the opposite way, like, you know, just by moving like sneaky / sly. Now, some people don't agree with compromise because they feel like, why we gotta meet a compromise? Why I can't just have things my way? And I'm not talking about people who just like things their way. I'm talking about people who just feel like sometimes we just gotta, why we can't just do it the way I want to do it. And I get that too. I definitely get that. I feel like, why, like, somebody, if you dating somebody and it's always like a tit for tat thing, like, one day you could just say, fine, let's do it your way. And don't even say it like that. Don't even say, fine, let's do it your way. Let's just say, fine, okay. Like, I agree with that. Like, why is it always have to be a win-win? Sometimes it can be a win-lose where you are the loser. And you got to understand that. Like, you can't always have it your way. You can't. Especially in relationships and friendships and stuff. Yeah, you may want to leave at 12, but maybe it's not your place to say you want to leave at 12. Just let it rock. Let it ride out. Why you can't let it ride out? My good sis. Or my good man. Whatever y'all call it. My good bro. You know, sometimes you do gotta let it rock out. You might want to eat here. Maybe you don't have a feel for Mexican. You want it Italian. Well, sometimes just let the person feel good. It's not even about winning or losing. It's just about being... What's the word I'm thinking of? Just being nice. Like, just being like... Are you allergic to Mexican? It's one thing if you're allergic to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may not be in the mood for it, but fine, you know? Sometimes you can't have it your way or the highway. And I think that's where, you know... And even some could say that that's considered compromise. By just letting that person win. You made a compromise. You did. You did. You definitely did. You just said, you know what? Is that compromise? That's another word for that. When you just don't want to have an argument. I forgot. I think there's a word for that, but I forgot what it is. And I think that sometimes we don't really know the true difference, you know. And I think, you know, for me, I enjoy compromise, at least in my relationship. Like, I think it works. It's key. It shows growth. Compromise also shows growth. Because if you're the type of person that always like things your way, you always got to have it this way or that way. And all of a sudden, you can sit back and be like, okay, fine. It speaks volumes about your maturity level and, you know, just what you become and what you're growing to be. I really believe that. I really believe. And yeah, and if you're the type of person that always gotta have everything your way, to me, you wild immature. Like, you're wild immature. Like, ugh. Somebody who always want to go back and forth because they want it exactly their way. Really? I haven't met a person like that in a while, I think. And I hope I don't. I don't think I know nobody like that. Do I? No. That's really like a tit for tat type of person? No. That always gotta have everything their way? No. But I know some people like that in relationships. I know like friendships, but yeah, some people in relationships who just like, this makes sense, this way makes sense. It's like, if it's gonna come out the same way, if y'all gonna have the same outcome, then bitch, how much sense does it make? You know what I'm saying? Compromising besides in relationships, meaning compromise at work. Now, when should you not compromise? Right? I think you shouldn't compromise when it comes to money. Like a win-win, like, look, we can't afford to give you $50K, but we could give you, well, if you really, sometimes if you really know your worth, it depends on how low they go. We can't afford to give you $50K, but we'll give you $45,000 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, technically, is that compromise? Well, if anybody who's smart knows, when you come to money, you ask for the higher number so you get the number you really want. So if you want $50K, you're supposed to ask for $60K. And I know y'all like, everybody know that, Brittany. Some people may not know that. But, you know, don't let nobody low blow you. Don't let nobody low blow you. Now, if they low blow you, like you ask for $60K and then they say we can give you $40K, that's a $20,000 difference, bitch. How you go from that to that? Like, come on. Some people may believe I shouldn't have to ask for a higher number to get what I want. Because it is offensive. If I ask for $60K and then you give me $50K, I'm like, dang, you really gonna give me a $10K less? Do y'all believe in not compromising when it comes to money? Maybe in certain situations, right? Maybe if you want to do something for like a friend or a family member and they even offering to give you money and you kind of like low blow it or whatever, so you kind of compromise when it came to money. Or maybe, you know, with everything going on right now in America, you like, all right, it's a black owned business if she can't afford it, I'll help her out. So sometimes you might have to compromise. But it might be some black people like, just because things are going on in the world, I'm not finna compromise myself for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not compromise. Is that compromise? I don't know if I'm using it right. But yeah, like reaching an agreement, you know, with somebody. Like, would you, sometimes I feel like those are times when you could kind of like decide whether you should reach a win-win with somebody, like, or low ball yourself. And I think that's why some people don't like compromise. Can you compromise too much? Meaning, are you just compromising because you don't want to have an argument? And that kind of goes back into last week, into passive aggressive behavior, right? I think for some people genuinely don't care. Like, I know some people, you know, they don't care where you go to eat. They don't care what time you do this, what time you do that. That's people who got a lot of time. Sometimes they don't have a busy schedule. There are some people, they're not just always compromising because they feel like it, but they compromise because they can. So can you compromise too much? That's a good question, because some people could look at somebody who compromises all the time as somebody who's really mature, and somebody could look at somebody who always compromises as somebody who's really like just let everything roll off their shoulders, you know. Sometimes do you deserve to have it your way? Really, they're both the same question, but it's just two ways to look at it, and that's a sticky question. I don't know. Sometimes do you deserve to have it your way? Fuck. That's not a hard question to y'all. It depends on the situation. I'm trying to think of a good situation. Like, I don't know. Maybe. No, sometimes you do deserve to have it your way. You shouldn't compromise. Like, if you bust your ass and you work hard and you waited for this moment, or whatever moment it is, yeah, try to have it your way. Don't compromise. Don't do a win-win. Like, everything ain't no win-win. You think Beyonce be compromising, bitch, and she want a gold bow on her head, and they say, look, the gold bows sold out right now, blah 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 blah, but we could get you some bronze and they look a little gold. I don't be thinking she be compromising. I think she be like, yo, y'all better find me a motherfucking gold bow, bitch. And y'all got 15 minutes talking about bronze. I didn't ask for bronze. I asked for gold. I don't care if it matched with my outfit. The bronze do look a little cute. You're right. But I asked for gold. And I need it now to match my aesthetic. I don't think Beyonce be doing no negotiations. She ain't on her win. A real business person, a real business bitch, man, whoever, businesswoman, because I'm like, why you calling girls bitches but calling men men? They don't compromise often. I doubt it, actually. I don't think at all. They don't do, alright. Well, I don't think they do that. Hell no. They put their foot down. Ain't no win-win. It's win-lose all the time. And they always a motherfucking winner, bitch. Like, dead ass. I really believe that. I really think a real business-orientated person always wins. And when I say win, not win. Like, sometimes you fail when you have a business. But I mean, like, in terms of, like, if they ask for a certain amount of money, or if they ask for a deal, they'll have a deal. But it doesn't mean their event will go as planned. Let's say you need some, investors for your event, right? You might have got that investment money, but that doesn't mean that your event went perfect. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of you getting everything you wanted and you thought it would go perfect, you did that. I do think that business people do have a way of making sure they always win. Ain't no win-win. It's just what I want. So I think maybe, so does that say that maybe in career there is no compromise? the tea. In career, there is no compromise. That's an interesting question. I'm not sure. In work, like in business, I should say, not career, business. Because I think in career, like if you work a regular job, sometimes you have to meet compromises with people, I think. When you're working with a group of people, do you? Yeah. Like, I mean, it depends on what type of job you got. When you work in a team setting, sometimes, yes, when you work in a group setting, sometimes you have to meet a compromise. You have to. You can't run the freaking show, like, all the time. Like, that's unique. But business, when you want like an entrepreneur or something, should you settle for no's? Should you settle for I can't get you the gold but I can get you the bronze? But some people, they'll be like, all right, they could get me the bronze, they could get it for me for free, they don't got the gold, bang bang bang, and then they can make some fly bronze shit. Hello. Because in some ways, you're still getting, let's say you want to get this bow for free. So in some ways, you're still winning because you got something for free for whatever this fucking bow is for. I don't even know why I said a bow. This bow is for all your dancers' hair or some shit, right? Yeah, it's not gold, but it's free. So did you still win? Even though you didn't get the color you want? You still won. You got the bow. But for some people, they like, I asked for fucking gold, but the shit free. I think it depends on your level of stature too. Like, but see, this shit is tricky. When I be coming up here, cause I said it depends on your level of stature. Should you treat yourself like you always at that level of stature? Damn it. Damn. Did they promise you gold too? Cause did you write in the contract gold? And then they try to come over bronze, bitch. If I ask for gold, you know what? I think I need y'all to find gold. Or I'm going to take the bronze and then I'm going to sue you. Simple and plain. Hello, good morning. But that just goes to show. In business, do you do compromise? As I speak, I don't feel like you should. Not in business, no. I don't agree with that. I don't think in business you should do compromise. You shouldn't. Like when you were owner CEO, no. You shouldn't. Well, then again, it depends. Like I was thinking like, have I done business like on my podcast? When it came to compromise. I remember, but then again, see, it's tricky. I'll tell y'all, it doesn't matter. I remember I was collabing with some podcasters, and I had a studio that I like going to, and it was Brooklyn, borderline Queens, or whatever the case may be, but it was Brooklyn. Like, a lot of people, I think that they didn't know that it was like really, 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 really close to Brooklyn because the city said Flushing. So sometimes they do that in New York City. Like, yeah, like in Queens, especially like Queens, we have different cities like South Richmond Hill, Flushing, Woodhaven, Elmhurst, New York. But it's all in Queens, or Jamaica, New York. But it's Queens. But we have different cities and boroughs. Like, they do that in Queens a lot, actually. Or in Long Island, they'll have Elmira or whatever, or Valley Stream, New York, but it's still Long Island, you know? Whatever the case may be. I was like, oh, it's kind of far, can we do a different studio, right? But, and I got a different studio. Then I was talking to another podcast that I had collabed with, and she was like, no, I wouldn't have switched the studio. Like, that's your studio. That's where your studio is at. Like, you gotta make it there, or whatever the case may be. Like, I made it to your studio from the Bronx. Like, people, when you collab with people, you doing business. Like, it is what it is. Like, and that's true. Like, if I was somebody else or whatever, would they have said something like that to me? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's true. And especially because their views is on the same view as mine. Would they have, you know, she was saying that, you know, you shouldn't have compromised or whatever the case may be, you know, and found another studio because that's your studio. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't mine. It's something that I rent. But like for her, for that other podcaster, she probably wouldn't have compromised, you know. And you know, it is a good way to think of it. Like, are you doing this because it's me? Right? If you were to pick somebody another podcast, right, you wouldn't have compromised. And you should always treat yourself in a level where you like, ow. But maybe when you're starting too, I'm thinking like when you're starting. No, when you're starting, sometimes you can set standards for yourself too. Because I was going to say, maybe when you're starting, sometimes you'll do a little compromise just so you can collab with certain people and stuff like that. But maybe you should set certain standards for yourself. And I think that sometimes we're scared to set certain standards for ourselves. But it comes with good and bad press, right? Because somebody might say, she's hard to work with. She said she wasn't going to change her studio for me, blah, blah, blah. And bitch, and you go run and tell that. And people might like me or adore me for that. And then some people might hate me for it. So it's like, all press is good press type of thing. Because the reason why I brought up the story is because I was about to say I don't think I've ever compromised in business, but I've done win-lose. You know, is that considered win-lose though? Not in business. I remember when I was selling my shirts, some girl was like, "Oh, I wasn't able to go to the event anymore or something, so I just don't want the shirt no more." And I said it was no refunds, but and I was like, she had a reason as to why something happened with the event, and I refunded her shirt. I refunded her money or whatever the case may be. And she didn't get the shirt yet. Like, it was like I was processing the what is the word I'm thinking of? Processing the shipment. And so it's not like she had took the shirt and then she was like, "Oh, I didn't wear it." It was like it never was sent yet and she didn't want it no more. And I refunded the money. Even though I said no refunds. And that's a win-lose, right? Because I lost that sale, but she won because she got her money back and she wasn't going to the event no more. So, you know, but that's business, that's customer service. But some people be like, "Bitch, you're a loser because you specifically said no returns." It's hard. It's tricky. It's tricky. Now that I talk, but you know, now that I'm talking on this podcast about it, I think going forth, and I have been like that a lot lately, actually in business, because even though I've had successful businesses to me, or that had trajectory of growing, but I just always had so many like obstacles in my life that had to make me like stop and push things, you know, back. But I do think going forth, I don't know if I'm with the compromise. If you're watching this, you're like, "Oh, I was about to collab with her. She don't do compromise." I don't. And I am very tricky with my emails and stuff like that because I already know what it is. And I value my time so much, especially lately. I don't care if we got stay-at-home order and all this stuff. And we should, you know, I value it. Like, I hate waiting on stuff for too long. Like, we on our phones all day. Like, if I email you, I need a response. I'm going to give you 48 hours. And 48 hours is a stretch, if you ask me. But, I don't know. Who's this? I don't know. Oh, Laura. Look at me. I want to see who called me. But I feel like 48 hours is even a stretch. But I give 48 hours out of respect. I'll give you 48 hours. And after that, I used to give people months, weeks for responses and stuff like that. And that was going to make me get into another topic. But I'm not going to get into that because then we're going to get way off topic. Like, too far off topic. And I don't want to get too far off topic. Or whatever the case may be. And it's not the time for that right now. Too soon. Too soon. But, yeah. For me, going forth, I don't think I'm gonna compromise in business. Is that bad? I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. I might do a video on that one day, like just about like just being a podcaster and just like about how people handle business and stuff like that with this. And in general, like even little things like getting my hair done. Like I had to get my hair done through some Instagram on me, and like, girl, the business of it all is messy. Like, ugh, you know, but whatever. And so we touched on compromising business. Compromising relationships, I think, is the key for me, to a successful relationship. And a lot of times we just don't be want to compromise over dumb shit, like over little things, or you know, we don't want to compromise over, we don't want to compromise over dumb things. Like, it has to make sense, though. It has to make sense. Like, what's an example? I give y'all mad tea, like, on my bae, on Femi. I want a new TV. We have a big TV for the living room. It's 55 inch. Fine. I want a 65 inch for the living room. The 55 inch could go in our bedroom. We have TVs already. Yes, we do. We have three TVs. We have one 55 inch and we have two 40 inch. But I want a bigger TV. Femi doesn't want to buy a new TV because he says that it's a waste of money right now. And he's right. You know, with everything going on in the economy, you know, I was furloughed. He's still working. It's just like, do we really need a new TV? And when he put it that way, I'm like, we do have 3 TVs. And if he's not going to help me buy the TV, then I don't want it. Then there's a side of me that's like, maybe I could just buy a TV for the house, you know, just like buy it. Like, I could find a 65 inch for like $400 right now, probably. $400 is a lot, though, considering that we got a baby on the way and all this other stuff. So, I feel like we have a TV. So, it is what it is. Like, you know, that's not really a win-win, though. That's a win-lose. I lose because I want a big TV. He don't want a new TV. I think it's low-key a lose-lose because he kind of want a TV, but we just don't want to buy it. I think I could convince him to get a new TV, though, if I put my mind to it, or whatever the case may be. But actually, that's a bad example because it's a win-lose. Because when he brought up his examples, and that's also a part of, you know, relationships and dating, is being able to, you know, level head your partner. He was able to level head me, you know, make me realize, like, Brittany, we have 3 TVs. You want to spend $400 on a new TV? We could put $400 towards things for the baby and da-da-da-da. We can wait for a TV. If we already have a TV, then we don't need another TV. So he's correct. In hindsight, that money could go towards stuff. A baby has nothing. When they come out of your vagina, they have nothing. All they have is you, and you have to take care of them. They didn't choose to come here. A TV, I have one. You know, so actually he kind of is level-heading me in hindsight, or whatever the case may be. So that's true. When I look at it in that ways, I was trying to think of a win-win situation, and I can't think of one right now. But I do think compromise and listening, because I didn't have to listen at that point. I didn't have to. I could have just went and got the TV, and then we could just be another $400 down. Period. That's just that on that. But I chose to listen. You know. And old me probably went up. I would have just came home with a new TV. And then you gotta have the right partner too, because I could come home with a new TV and he'd be like, well, I didn't pay for it, so I don't care. No, he's not like that. If I come home with a new TV, he'd be like, Brittany, why would you spend $400 on that TV? When you know we need this money, why would you get a TV? It's not gonna be like, oh, well, it's not my money, so it's not gonna be like that. And that's something you need. Is somebody who's level-headed, who makes sense of things. So, but I think compromise is key. It's key to any relationship. We always be compromised. And what about compromise in friendships? And I keep saying friendship is a relationship. I just hate saying compromise in friendships. Like, Compromise in friendships. Sometimes you do stuff you don't want to do. I know I do stuff I don't want to do for my friends and family sometimes. But it's all about, is that even compromise? I don't think that's compromise though. That's just like unconditional love. Like, ugh. But then again, sometimes you gotta say no too. So maybe it is compromise. Like, I feel like I rarely do that with friends and family. Like it's just like somebody come up with something and then we usually do it. It's not like, no, I don't. I feel like it's needed in some friends. I mean, in some friends and family relationships, but I don't think I could relate so much. Like where I had to compromise with somebody. No, I can't think of one, but I'm pretty sure it happens. And I just think compromise is a key to any type of relationship. Like I just think it's needed. Can compromise show deeper rooted issues? Yeah, because why the fuck we always need to compromise? Sometimes you shouldn't have to always compromise. Sometimes it should just be like, yeah, I'm fucking down. Like, why we gotta be like, well, I don't really want to do it this way. Like, sometimes you gotta take a fucking L. If the person said 11:30, then do 11:30. Because you don't want to wake up at 12. That's selfish. I mean, because you don't want to wake up early. That's selfish. That's not a real excuse. To say one thing to be like, oh, I can't do 11:30 because I had to do something for my mom or something like that. That's different. But to say I don't want to do 11:30 because I don't like waking up early, that's kind of selfish. Like, sometimes you might just have to make an alarm. Like, I'm just confused. So I think it can show deeper rooted issues. Definitely. And sometimes compromise is not always needed. Sometimes you just need to say yes. Not, can we agree to? No, bitch. Like, that's that. It's final. Like, stop. Please. Oh, Lord. Compromise. What you gonna do? But this episode might be a little short. I'm trying, but I'm coming to you every single week. Whether I'm late, whether I'm on time, I'm doing it. And I don't care. And I'm coming up with topics and I'm doing what I can through all this shenanigans. And I hope you guys are staying 155% sane. And I'm hoping you guys are hitting the subscribe button and you're leaving comments and you're hitting the like button as well. And yeah, I will see you guys next. Oh wait, before I say that, and as you know too, I have been posting like little reviews on like celebrity based topics, or you know, like whatever's going on. I post like little, not reviews, just like my opinion, I guess, on the topic. So make sure you guys watch out for that, because it definitely should be coming out tomorrow. The topic that I have, I want to bring it out today though, so it might be coming out today alongside this video. So yes, now that I'm done with that, I will see you boys next.